Now I am.
Yeah. There's a couple things I wanted to talk about before we started. I know, Andrew, you're trying to do something on AWT, and I suspect you probably want to ask questions.
No, I mean, I've been talking to him about it, but
okay.
What were you going to...
No, I was just going to say that I don't really have anything new to add to anything,
okay.
So I'm not going to talk about that today. I also wanted to talk about, I think you might have seen Elliot's press release on the McRae thing, his claim that we had denied him his First Amendment rights and his right to carry a firearm into the City Commission, and a judge denied that he was wrongfully harmed in any way, and that he has that was so his appeal was overturned.
Well, two of them, he's allowed to refile.
He has 10 days.
Right.
And apparently there was no clear consequence, no clear perpetration of anything, according to the judge. But if they wanted to clarify that, they can refile within 10 days. So I'm sort of thinking 10 days is not too far off.
Okay. So the election last night didn't go as you wanted it to go. Do you feel that you have to make concessions now that the commission is what it is?
Well, you know what? I think everybody has to make concessions. You know, we're working collaboratively to do what's right for the city, and I won't always get my way, and an individual commissioner won't always get his or her way, but we have to work as a unit, and that's the important part.
What about from your end? I mean, now that you know this is the commission for at least the next year, what do you have to do differently than you've been doing?
Well, you know, I'm not sure that it's necessarily anything differently. But certainly one of the things I've learned over the last, 8 months is that we really have to make sure that we prepare the commissioners as much as we possibly can on the topics that we're going to be talking about. So we're really working hard to make sure that we do that better.
What about, you really went strongly for Greg Weiss, you supported him, endorsed him, campaigned for him. Do you feel that this result damages your credibility at all?
You know what? The people out there voted for either Greg Weiss or Shannon Material. They weren't voting for me. As much as some folks wanted to make it about me, it wasn't about me. It was about the two candidates running for this office and who was the best person in the eyes of the voter. And Shannon won strongly, and I congratulate her on it. And I called her this morning and left a message for her.
But still, I mean, you could have, quietly supported him. You chose to very publicly support him.
That was something I wanted to do. I felt comfortable doing. I'm a voter just like everybody else, and I'm okay with it. It's something I wanted to do, and the voters didn't agree with me, and that's fine.
So you don't feel this is a statement at all on you as mayor?
As I said, I was not on the ballot. There were two people on the ballot, and people voted for whom they wanted to. They weren't voting for me.
Just curious, we have this conversation every week, it seems, on where things are with the bridge.
Oh, the bridge.
The bridge. and since we last saw you, more news on the bridge and another assessment. It seemed pretty clear back in February that the bridge had to close. It was not safe, and it had to close by April 1st. But since then, there's maybe a change of heart, or at least a consideration to possibly keep it open. What do you know about what's going on, and what do you expect to happen given what we've seen already?
What I know is that they are going to close the bridge for some period of time, brief period of time, to see if they can fix it. And they're going to do everything they can to make it safe enough to be used while the new bridge is going to be built. And I talked yesterday with Secretary Wolf in Fort Lauderdale. I've also talked with Secretary Prasad in Tallahassee, and he is going to be here in West Palm Beach on Tuesday the 19th, and we're going to have a public meeting at 4 o'clock in our commission chambers. He's going to present to us their plan and talk to us about what it looks like from their point of view, and I'm sure that we'll be able to ask them some questions about timelines and cost and how are they going to help us make sure traffic moves smoothly through our city and people get to where they have to get to, and that the public is safe.
But in the public's mind, when they're told this bridge is not safe and must close, what reassurances can something like that give them?
I think that the people from FDOT are going to have to make those reassurances, and they have engineers and folks working hard on it. I can't imagine that they would ever take a risk with public safety, and they're going to do what they can to fix it, and hopefully they'll be able to fix it. But if it gets to the point where they can't fix it and they don't feel it's not safe, I'm sure they'll do what they have to do. They're not going to take a chance with public safety.
Given what you've seen and heard, would you encourage people to use this
I'm
bridge?
not going there. You know, we'll see what they have to say about it.
All right. Do you have any other questions?
Well, I guess going back to the election, Greg last night afterwards said, he felt there was just a lot of lies going out there at the end, a lot of nasty campaigning. Do you agree with that? Do you feel the same way?
I think it was a very ugly campaign. And I'm not saying one side or the other. I just think I've not ever seen anything quite so personal. And I think that's disappointing.
Is there anything can be done about that?
It seems to be the way of the world, or at least the way of this country. And I would hope sometime in the future people will stick to the issues and debate the issues, not debate whether someone's a Scientologist or not, or it's about the issues, and that's what we should be talking about.
Do you think your involvement in the campaign added to any of that?
I don't see how.
And the same thing, you had some commissioners involved too, having...
Yeah, they were involved. I was involved. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it got to that point. I don't know what the causes.
Do you think, even though maybe it didn't go the way you wanted it to, do you think things can calm down now that the election's over?
I know things will calm down. And we are going to continue to work together to get the job done. And I know that that's a commitment from all of the commissioners. Election season's always a little tense.
Maybe a final thought on the other topic. The engineering department has been out there a few times and has seen the structure. What is their guidance? What are they suggesting is the best course of action?
Our engineers? Well, I mean, of course they're going to defer to FDOT engineers. And I think that the question is we're going to have to see how they're going to fix it. I mean, there's a significant issue now, and it's going to take very little to move it to a point where it's highly significant. So they're going to have to do some really in-depth structural things to make sure that it's safe. And I know FDOT engineers are working on it. So, you need to ask those questions from FDOT. It's not my bridge, it's not the city's bridge, it's not Palm Beach's bridge, it's FDOT's bridge.
But given the expense that may come with any number of scenarios, the public may see this and say, why are we spending more money at a time when we're asked to cut back on a temporary fix when you've got a much broader project just coming up in a few months to resolve the whole issue?
I think the public should ask that question. It's going to cost more money and it's going to take longer to fix it, to get the whole bridge, the whole process completed. And it's definitely going to cost more money. And those are the questions the public should be asking. Am I going to be safe? How much of my tax dollars, additional tax dollars, are going to go into this? Have an opportunity to express what they think.